everybody, today is Friday and you are joining me for the 20th word in my Word of the Day series in association with Mrs. Wordsmith. Well done for keeping up, guys. It's been a quick pace of learning, but you guys have been brilliant and I've been super pleased with all the work that you've sent me, and well done to those of you who really listened when I was talking about spelling and handwriting the other day in our handwriting challenges, and you really took that on board, so well done. So I'm going to get straight into it today. Today's word of the day is, are you ready? Do the drum roll. Today's word of the day is stagnant. Look really closely at the spelling of that word. I'm going to say it. Stagnant. There's two N's in that word, so it's not stagnant, it's stagnant. Okay, so make sure it's two N's like this and not any M's. I'm going to really look at that closely with your handwriting. So this is actually a settings word. It's a word that you would use to describe a place, and it's particularly used to describe water. So I got the idea for this word of the day when I went on my daily walk the other day. So I live in the countryside, and there's a little path that goes just down the back of my house, which leads to a river and a churchyard, and sometimes Mr. Thompson and I go for little walks along there. And down that pathway there is a dike. A dike is kind of a big dip in the ground where water collects. You get them next to fields. They look a bit like this. So when we went on our walk, we walked down alongside this dike, and inside the dike, inside the ditch, was some water. Now usually when you see water in a sort of a dip in the ground, it's kind of flowing or moving like a river, right? Like this. But this water was not moving. It was kind of flat and still. So I took a picture. This is the picture that I took. Can you see that actually there's kind of a green algae floating on top, and the water isn't moving or flowing, it's just still. It's stagnant. So the word stagnant is what we use to describe water like this. So it's kind of stale and motionless, like a dirty pond where nothing is living or moving. That's really interesting, because if you have stagnant water, there won't be any fish living in there. There won't be any, there won't be any fish swimming around, because there's no, fish need oxygen in the water and they like to swim around, and the water isn't moving. So fish wouldn't survive in a sort of a puddle of stagnant water. So it's kind of an icky word, isn't it? Because when you see stagnant water like this, it's not very nice, and sometimes it's a bit smelly too. So the word of the day is stagnant. It means stale and motionless, like a dirty pond where nothing moves or lives. And if you have a look really closely at the character in the picture there, he's kind of got one of those face masks on, because the smell of the water is so icky and bad that he kind of doesn't want to smell it. So it's very stagnant. It's not fresh. So you guys are going to have two challenges today, and one of them is a handwriting challenge, and I'm going to run a time lapse for that now. Okay, welcome back. You have now completed your handwriting, and the final challenge for this week is nothing to do with the word stagnant. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is just spend 5 minutes or so now just going through some of the handwriting. I know that you all had a notebook to take home from school to do your working from home in. If you've been doing your handwriting on pieces of paper, that's absolutely fine too. I want you to have a look back, and you can re-watch some of the videos as well. And you are going to spend some time doing that just now, because we have got a super mega fun Mrs. Wordsmith quiz coming up. To our super fun mega Mrs. Wordsmith quiz, and we are on question 1. Okay, question 1 is okay, the next question. I'm going to perform an action that went along with one of the words that we've learnt so far. I don't want you to write the word down. I want you to write down what the word means. So I'm going to do an action, and you should hopefully remember the word that goes with that action. But I don't want you to write the word down. I want you to write what the word means. Okay, so the next question, I am going to do an action that we have learned alongside one of our words, and I want you to, similar to before, I don't want you to write down the word that goes with this action. I want you to write down the meaning of the word. Are you ready? joining me for our Word of the Day videos this week. You've worked really, really hard. I'm really proud of you all. So is Mrs. Wordsmith. Have an absolutely lovely weekend, and I will join you for 5 more wonderful words next week. Bye.